Okay.
like on the thing. So, hello everyone. I am Bez, and this is Alina.
Yay.
And we met at UK Games Expo last year, which sadly isn't happening at its scheduled time. We still don't know if it'll happen in August. But you contacted me. I was like, "Oh, is this person real?" Because it was just such an unusual email, and then I checked out. Oh wow, this is some really cool stuff. And then met you at UK Games Expo.
Yeah,
You've
I saw
done
you on the distance. Like I thought, oh, it's definitely Bess. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you ended up meeting up with Modifius at UK Games Expo and doing a bit of work for them. Is that right?
Yeah. I had internship there for 3 months during the summer.
You're a professional illustrator and graphic designer.
Yeah, I do book design, illustration for children books, and also game design. Like I develop my game, and yeah,
And
like
what are you
learning
working on
this.
just now?
Um, Actually, there are books which I'm working on since a few years. So now one is a children book which is about squirrel and rat story.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm working on that, and it's amazing opportunity to go here like from time to time to the park and to see those in real. So I make sketches and then create few more stories around that.
So is it an
And
ongoing series, like a series of children's books with the
it,
squirrel and the rat?
so for now it's one story. I don't know if it would be continued, but now we are working on one story which started like years ago. But I hope to finish it soon. Now we have more time, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, that makes lots of sense. And I've been basically myself working on a bunch of different games for the LDEC, and I was just telling Galena before we started that I played a game with my housemates actually 4 times last night called Mini Muckle. 3 of those times were in French, and today I was playing board games in French with some people on Zoom, just kind of chilling out and learning French together. We played the same game 4 times in French again. I mean, I don't do so well in French, but I do better in English. And for the benefits of everyone following along, we are going to play Mini Muckle in French. In English. I think
Like
that you would
French?
not like. I don't think you would like to play in French.
Like I know a few words, but not really for playing game.
Not for playing a words game, certainly.
Not at all.
So, the way that it's going to work, just to show you, um, is that you have something like this at the end. So you're going to start off taking a card. You will see a card, N or D. And by the way, if you're in the comments, if you're watching along, you can totally join in. You just need to get some pen or pencil and paper. And you have your own pen or pencil and paper, Alina, don't you?
Actually, not really. I wasn't sure how it would work as I'm first time here, but yes, I do have it.
And so you start off with one of the letters, you write it down, then the other letter, you can either write it down to the right and extend the word, or you can start a new word. Now here we've got the words tops, bit, mat, now, na, or, and breath. I was hoping for the T, but the T never came up. So what we have is you've got the ability to make some wild cards during the game.
Okay.
So during the game, instead of drawing one of these, you can use a wild card. Just draw a star. You can have 3 stars during the game. It's instead of that. You can't do it as well as that. And you can't do them all at the end. But well, you could do it with the last 3 cards, but you can't see the last card and then draw 3 stars. You need to do it with the last 3 cards if you want to leave it until the very end, if you get what I mean. This can help you make a very long word, because the way the scoring works is here where I made darn, ma, sick, clapper, boo, and stole. So I used all 24 letters, which is very
Mhm.
good. So for every letter that you use in a word, you get 1 point. Secondly, how long is your longest word? So clapper, that's 7 letters, so plus 7. And then how many rows did you use? So you're allowed to use as many rows as you want. So the more rows you have, the more words you're able to make at once. It makes
Mhm.
it easier, but every row is also minus 1 point. Conversely, here, nastiest, go, I, a, let, because I, a, and o are also words on their own right. If you see what I mean, like the words I and a. And bro, no, id, and another star I did at the end just to use as an A, just to get
Mhm.
it. So for me, that was 24 plus 8 minus 3 is 29. Does that make sense?
What set of card do I have at the beginning? Like
Well,
how it
every
appears?
turn, you're going to get one of 2 letters. So
Okay.
it's just turn by turn. And it's quite a short game. It takes about 10 minutes or so to play. So you can maybe play it a couple of times if you're up for that.
Yeah, let's see how it goes.
And if anyone else is watching this after the fact, again, just follow along, compare your scores to ours at the end, and get some pencil and paper. So the first card is R or M. Now, what you need to do is on a sheet of paper, write R or M on the top left. I've
Yeah.
chosen R.
Okay.
T or G. You could continue the word, but I don't think there's any possible way to do that. But you're probably going to be starting a new word with T or G. Third card, N or F. We're not getting many vowels right now. And remember to get the optimal letter, so E or P. You want to make one word as long as you can. Everything else, just use all the letters you can. Are you ready with this one, Alina?
E and P, I have it, yeah.
E or P, one or the other.
Okay, yeah.
So you should have 4 letters unless you've chosen to skip something at this point. So mine is like this. I wrote the R, then the T, then the N, and then I went to the right. I think you've done. So
So I should
you're
choose
only
one,
doing
yeah.
one letter at a time. Do you see how I've done it there?
Okay. Okay.
So, are you feeling like you are able to carry on, or shall we restart?
Restart with letters, you mean?
Well, let's have a quick recap. So it's R or M was the first one. So you choose one of
Yeah, I
them.
have it. Yeah, don't worry.
T
I
or
have
G
all the
was the
letters.
second.
Yeah.
Then N or F, only one of them. Then E or P. And the fifth one is R or W. And you're putting this to the right to extend a word or starting a new word. One of the letters. O or V. N or H. T or L. And if you don't want to use something, you can skip the card if you want, or you can draw a star instead. A star is like a wild card.
But you can use it only once, yeah?
You can use 3 stars during the game. So this is what I've got so far. So you can see I've not skipped any letters, and we've got 8 letters down. Are you following along?
Why do you use it in through line? Write down it in through line.
So this is here. I'm hoping for rewound or rewarded or yeah, this could be a bunch of different words. I've got ton, and I had to start N because each line is a separate word.
How many words should we create?
As many as you like. You can make multiple lines on words on a line, but once you start a new thing, you can do a little full stop and stop it. So the next one would be A or G.
So we
And
already create the word, yeah? It's not something that we will mix later. So we
oh no,
already.
no, you have to start at the left and then you work right.
Mm, okay, because now I started to write down things like that, having it, just in the.
No, so two is fine because two could be a word. I tell you what, scribble off FNW and T and just you can start something else there. You've messed up slightly this one. Maybe I didn't there. This is problems with the medium of Zoom, but we'll all learn together. So you could put an A or a G down to the right of one of your lines. Have you done that?
Sorry, I confused.
So
I'm
I
not sure.
put NA because NA is a word. It's
Uh-huh.
how you say no in Scotland, nah, and
Yeah.
it could extend into nag or nads or name or
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
So, uh-huh.
And so I'm always starting with the left and moving right. Does that make sense?
Okay, so you are basically already creating words during you are telling the letters. You are showing the
Yes.
card here. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So an A is very useful. It's a vowel, so you can put it in the middle, hopefully. And the next one is another A or J. And having lots of short words is fine. So I've made the word na and now I'm put down an A. S or H. And I've got as. N or D.
Okay.
S or G. T or C. O or F. Let me know if I'm going a wee bit too fast.
Yeah, a bit too fast. Okay, because I just figure out how it works. Okay.
I
Mm,
or B. Okay, and now we're almost at the end of the game. We've got 8 cards left.
uh-huh.
A or L. And remember, you have 3 wild cards that you can use as you go along.
Mm-hmm.
S or B. And this is what mine currently looks like. So I've got na, as, a, ton, two, is, and on the top I'm trying to make my one really long word, which I'm hoping will be rewinding. But given that we've only got 6 cards left, it'll probably just be rewinds or something like
Mm,
that.
mm-hmm.
E or M. So try to continue one of your words if you can.
Yeah, a bit stuck. Yeah.
E or K. If you can't do it, that's totally okay. You can always skip a letter or you can do a wild card. Actually, instead of the E, I'm going to use one of my wild cards. And now we have 4 cards left, including this one. Ooh. I or U. R or D? And the penultimate card is O or H. And the final card is I or L. Okay, so what happens is at the end, so I have rewind A. I was really hoping that one of those last two cards would be an N, and then I could have made rewinding. But what happens is I scribble off the I, and I do have rewind. So my other words are ton, to, is, I, na, as, am, and do. And I count up how many letters I've actually managed to use. 2, 3, 4, 5, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3. So 23, so there was just one letter that I didn't manage to use. Then I look up my longest word, rewind, which is 6 letters. And finally, I subtract the number of lines, which is -3. And so I end up with a total of 26 points. What about you, Alina? I know that you didn't understand it at the start, so do you want to say your score, or shall we just ignore that and play again?
I can tell you how, I can show you what happened here. So I used 17, yes, letters.
In words, very nice.
So I show you. So here we go. Actually, these two first, Toby, unless I don't know there is a name or something. I said about Toby.
What is Rena and Toby? What does that mean?
I invented new words. Does it work like that? No?
No, I think you're meant to use words that are actually in the dictionary. I'm very sorry.
Well, anyway, I'm quite sure about fact. Yes,
yep.
The letter of fact, it should be okay. And weather, yes. It shouldn't be a noun. Yeah, it's okay. Is it like if it's the weather is 2 stars?
I hate saying this, Alina, but weather, WHETH. So the T should have been before the star. But let's pretend that instead of the T, you put a star.
Wait, here. Right, okay.
So,
yes.
Remember that during this game, what I like to say is that it's very friendly and you're allowed to look up one word every turn. So it's not meant to take a long time, but if at some point you're like, oh, how do I spell this? Let me remind myself. That's totally okay. And so you can help out each other along the way. But you made the words fact and weather for sure. Like if you do the 7. Star instead of the T.
So do we add 7 and 4, or how it works?
Fact is for or how WHETHER.
Like, I mean, if you
so you used 11 letters plus 7 because your longest word we count it twice, so that's 18. Minus how many lines you used? I think it was 4. I see.
Yeah.
And so you end up with 14 points. Okay. So that's your score. Does that make sense?
Okay.
11 plus 7 minus 4 is 14.
Okay.
So shall we?
Plus 7. Okay, right.
Now that you understand the rules, shall we go
let's
again?
do this again.
So for those who don't know the rules, I see there's someone new that's watching. You are taking cards one at a time. You're trying to make words as you go. The first card should be the first letter of a word. The second card can either be the second letter of the word, or you can start a new word. And you carry on, always trying to grow words from left to right. And if you use all the cards within words, you get 24 points. If you use less than that, you get some number. I managed 23, Alina managed 11. And then you also score for the longest word, which in my case was 6. Alina managed 7. And then you subtract the number of rows you've done. So with each row, once you finish the word, so I finished the word ton, Ton, and then I got the T. And so because I got the T, I decided to stop ton, if that makes sense. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to start a new word. And in this way, you can start multiple words on the same line. But if you want to have multiple words at one time, you're going to have more lines, but each line is -1. So, all clear?
Let's say so.
Starting
Okay.
word. N or H? I or U? So I'm thinking to myself, should I carry on NI because that, or NU because I can think of words like that? Or do I want N to have an A because I can think of so many longer words?
What about Nutella?
Nutella, it
count?
doesn't count. No companies or brand names, or I mean, you can have Apple, obviously, because that's also a word, but you can't have Samsung or Nutella or Frankie or Amy or Bez or Alina. We are not words. It's words that you find in the dictionary, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah. But Nutran or something like neutral.
Yeah, neutral would be good, but neutral is NEU.
No, like the chemical. I mean, chemical element. I guess this is you, no?
And the neutron, the middle of the atom. That's NU again. But I've decided to go for NU. I'm hoping for nunnery, I've decided.
You skip it, yeah? Okay.
S or G?
Okay.
A or J?
No Samsung, okay.
S or H? T or C? This one is I or B? Where will I be? I've made the word nut, and I'm going to stop it there. And I'm putting the letter I beside it, which could be a word on its own, because as in that's what I am doing, but also I could extend it into in or if or something like that. Does that make sense?
You don't get it. No. So once you add is it part of the word?
I did not. So not is a word, and I finished.
And you start another one.
Yeah, to the right of it. That's why there's a little full stop.
Okay. Okay, makes sense.
A or L? It's all you need. It's S or B. I'm just going to have a quick cheeky check because, as I say, you are allowed to look up one word each turn. So on the Collins English Dictionary, I'm just going to double check gaseous because I'm fairly sure I know how to spell it, but I just want to double check. And I'm correct, Gaseous. That's what I'm working towards. E or M? E or K? You've got
Oh,
R or M. And remember, you are allowed to skip a letter or you are allowed to do a wild card instead if you want. We've got R or D. Extending the word, it's O or H.
Doesn't
next,
fit.
You are allowed to skip a letter or you can use a wild card if you've
I
not
do
used.
skip, yeah.
And we've got about half the deck done, just to let you know. Got this. There's 10 cards left, including this one. I'm using my second wild card. O or V? T or L? Okay, I'm using my starting a new line. A or G?
Okay.
It's what we've been dreaming of. O or F?
Not me.
N or D? Well, tag, you're it. It's T or G.
Okay. And we need to keep an order, yes? We can't...
you can't shuffle, you always go from left to right.
Okay.
N or F? Okay, I've got 3 lines and this doesn't work for any of them, so I'm going to use my final wild card to finish off Gaseous. So this is what my thing currently looks like. So I had not, I, ask, and I'm hoping for dove, Gaseous, and now I can start a new thing here. Ta, on, and T could be to or ta again.
Ta is a word? T-A, it's a word?
Yeah, like thank you. Like ta very much.
Nice.
It's an informal way of saying thank you.
Well, do you want to see like how it's going for me? So now I have here it's part of the word and oh wait.
Well, there's only 2 cards left after this.
So okay, let's
finish
then,
finish.
and then yes,
I can find the spot here. It's just more trying to show you what I'm all up to. So if you can put the T down, you should. And the final card to finish off everything is a R or W. And that's no use to me. So in the end, I used 22 of the 24 letters. My longest word was 7, which gives it up to 29. Minus 6 makes it, minus 3 makes it 26. So my words were not, I, ask, dove, Gaseous, which I'm very proud of, ta, and on. And in the T, and I could have had a W there, but it's not a word, so I scribbled them out. And so it's 22 letters plus 7 for Gaseous, minus 3 for 3 lines, is a total of 26. What is the second word? On the top, I. Like, I am making this word.
Yeah, but the second one, second line, gas.
Gaseous. So it's when something is made up of gas.
Oh. Okay.
So you use the word gaseous to describe something which is in the form of a gas rather than a solid or a liquid. And that's me reading off Colin's English dictionary, because that was the one word that if you remember, I double checked halfway through just to make sure I was spelling it correctly, because that would be the worst if I actually got to the end and I was like, oh, I thought I had this great word, but it's spelt wrong. And so that's why you are allowed to look up one word per turn. That is totally okay.
Actually, I haven't checked one word which I'm not sure about, and actually, it's not. Yeah, and okay, it's too late, so you can
Is
say,
it wrong?
yeah, if that's wrong. Okay, at least one word I
Oh,
would have.
oh no. So
How
let's
you
look
can
at your
say?
paper. Will
Where it
let
is?
me do this.
Yeah. Okay, here it is. So I was about to write down nature, but actually I didn't get
No,
E.
but oh no, wait, yeah. And also,
And then
nature
like,
is just nature. You didn't
yeah,
need
so I don't have
the
E in
thing.
the end.
But after the N, you didn't need a wild card.
But I used three. So I used another wild card for Shabbat and metal.
Hmm.
And for nature, it was like ooh. Also here is another wild card. Yes.
Oh
So
yes,
tell me if Shabbat is the correct word
I
or is double
will.
B. It could be double B.
SHAB80. I will look it up in. Nope. No results for Shabbats in the English dictionary. It is double B. Yeah, for the Sabbath.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, metal. Then I have just metal.
Well, METAL, that's 5 letters. Plus another 5 is 10 points. Minus 3 is 7. So it wasn't great, but at least you scored positive.
Well, you are very experienced in cheering up failed result.
I would suggest that we could stop there and call it tonight if you want. That's totally okay. If you want, we could give it one last go, and feel free this time, if you're ever unsure of the spelling of something, double check it halfway through. Shall we give it one third go, or shall we call it there?
Okay, let's do the last one.
Okay, so Mini Muckle, we're playing it a third time, and if you
Wait,
want,
I can see you. If we change something, I can see only myself.
oh,
Okay.
I changed it because I thought that it might make you bigger. There we go. Sorry about that, Selena.
Oh, no worries. It's okay.
So we've got 24 cards. I've shuffled them. I mean, it would be so easy for me to just cheat because it's via Zoom. I could like turn them all upside down and be like, okay, yes, I'm looking at this card. Okay, which card I need, and I could do it on the side, and no one would ever know. But so there is a lot of trust that goes into something like this, of course. Okay, I have.
Yeah, I was thinking about pupils and teacher who would need to have accept exam from them, and
You
how
know
would
what? I
they
think that
control?
an open book exam is how exams should work anyway, in my mind. Because it's not important that you memorize all this stuff. It's important that you understand the concepts and you're able to put it into practice. So that's why I think that if you're going to a maths exam, it's not or physics. That's a better example. It's not important that you remember, oh, yeah, I'm going to. What is the formula for E equals half K equals half mv squared? I don't know. Kinetic energy equals half mv squared. You know, I know that, but is that if I didn't know the formula for something else, as long as I'm able to find it, the important thing is that I understand it. You know what I mean? Understanding is so much more important than rote memorization.
Yeah, sometimes they require still some knowledge which you're supposed to carry in your mind. So now maybe the concept would need to be changed.
Yeah, certainly schooling and everything will have to be changed a lot.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, so the first card to start off, our first word is definitely An E or an M? I can think of quite a few words. And it's I and it's you. It's you and me. It's I or you. Oh, we've got James on the stream. Hello, James. And we're actually
Hello,
just finishing up. If you want, you can quickly jump into the final game of Mini Muckle. I don't know if you know the rules.
I'm happy to watch. I'm just actually having a snack, so I'm being a bit rude.
Okay.
I'm eating my mouthful.
Well,
But you guys can play and do your thing, and I'll join in a bit.
okay, so it's I or you. And we'll say hello to James at the end. Oh, I totally forgot about that one. E or P. Going back to the old days, it's an EP. Now, R or W. Carrying on with the rewinding. T or C. Okay, I'm going to do that. Sometimes I need to count letters on my fingers. I'm not too ashamed to say that. O or V. I am fairly sure that pro is a word, short for professional, and I'm just going to double check it. PRO. Yep, it is a legitimate word in the Collins English Dictionary. T or L. So, with no time to lose, we're going to move on to A or G.
Perfect.
And that's the card that we can see again. A or G. And it's O or F. Have you been dreaming of this one this time?
Not really. Sorry.
That's okay. AL, maybe this is all you ever wanted.
Unless to start another line.
Still on my second line, I'm quite chuffed. I've done pro, A. O is also a word, so there's 3 letters in the English language which are one-letter words. A, like a deck of cards. I, like I shuffle a deck of cards. And O, like, oh, brother, where art thou? I want my deck of cards. Those are the 3 one-letter.
I should learn all those tricks. It's very smart. I have 3 lines, so far like that.
Oh yes, if you move it, yep. Mutt,
L and raw. Like I'm looking for roast, and then like for mute, and L I'm not sure about.
Oh, or you could do a T as well. Like a mutt is a type of dog.
Oh, I should put the dot and then start.
No, I mean MUTT.
Another T.
Yes, if you get another T, I don't know if you will. Oh, you got the
mute.
E.
Okay, and then I put a dot and I continue, or what? Or just start.
You could put a dot and continue, or you could keep going because you could put a D or an S if you get an S or a D, because it could be muted.
Okay.
N or H. So I've managed to gear up towards Mitten, which I'm happy with. We're about halfway through. Oh, S or B.
Perfect.
I'm very chuffed. I've not used any of my wild cards yet.
Oh, me too.
Doing well, Alina. N or D.
Oh, D. Good.
A or J. So we've got 1, 2, 3. We've got 9 cards left after this. S or G? Shh. S or H?
Okay.
T or G?
Okay.
R or D? Start saying a new word. We've got 5 cards remaining. O or H? N or F? So, just so you know, there's only 3 cards remaining. That means that if you've not used any of your wild cards, you could just use wild cards for the rest of the game.
Can you please repeat again the last card?
The last card was N or F.
Okay.
I or L? And I or B? And finally, R or M? Or indeed, if you've got one left, you can put in a wild card. And in the final analysis, I managed to make Mittens, Ash, and Is Pro, A, O, Ant, and Done. And I managed to use all the cards, so I was very chuffed with myself. So that's 24 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is the length of Mittens, minus 2 makes for a total of 29 points.
Come on, I don't know if I should count it.
I mean, there's no shame.
Okay, let's.
Do you want to show us the words you've got?
Okay. Here we go. So muted, yes.
Oh, nice.
Then roast.
Roasted.
Yeah.
And short. And what's the second word?
Actually, it's nothing. Yeah, it never appears as word.
So I guess there's 3 letters that you didn't use, so you've used 21 of them. R-O-A-S-T-E-D. Your longest word is 7, which 21 plus 7 is 28. Minus 4 makes for 24 points. That's very good. That's very respectable.
Oh, 24. Amazing. I feel I'm going further.
Nice. And I see that there's Tom and Polly and James who are all waiting around.
Hello.
And so,
Hi.
hello.
Polly will be.
Hello, there you are. How are you doing?
We've just played 4 games, or 3 games, sorry, of Mini Muckle.
Polly.
Yeah, she'll be here in a second.
And so that was that. And now we're joined by the ubiquitous James, who is seemingly everywhere these days. And Tom and Polly, who are...
I've left my house once today.
I mean, that is the definition of ubiquitous. Ubiquitous does mean that you're found everywhere.
Everything and everything, yeah. That's what I like. Yeah. It's true, yeah.
And Tom, game designer of Categorical, and lovely person, as is Polly.
Thank you.
I mean, I say
Polly?
lovely person as if other people aren't, but...
Oh, yeah, lots of people are lovely.
And we already talked about Alina, who's working on books and is graphic designer. But before we move on and decide whether we're going to play something to round it off or not, I wanted to everyone to say something that they're happy about and that they feel reasonably good about recently.
Can I ask you before we do that about the condemic thing?
Oh, people are wanting to hear about Condemic. Condemic was a convention run by On Board Games, Donald Dennis, which was yesterday. And yeah, basically that was a bunch of people meeting together in Discord, and a lot of the games were run via Tabletop Simulator. I ran a couple of games via Zoom, and I got the privilege of playing Freemel with Scott Nicholson of Board Games with Scott fame, who's nowadays working on escape rooms. And that was the first time I'd ever played a game with Scott. And, I'm not wanting to fangirl out, but, I'm a big fan of Board Games with Scott back in the day. It was when I was getting into board games around 2008, and there was this video series, and I was like, oh, wow, this is really cool. It tells you all about these fun games that this person really likes, but not just reviewing them, but also talking a little bit more about how they play and why they are good, if you know what I mean. And Scott really taught you these are all the rules via a video, if you know what I mean. So by the end of it, you would be able to, if you just got the box, you'd be able to pretty much play off the bat almost.
That's a nice story. So in some ways, Scott was a bit your inspiration, your kind of role model a little bit. And now that you've met them, are they kind of into your games as well?
No, like they did enjoy Freemel. Like they don't really. I sort of messaged him at one point, but yeah, that was a really nice thing. I wouldn't say inspiration or role model, but just someone that I have lots of respect for. Do you know what I mean? Because of all they've managed to do, and now they're doing a lot of escape room stuff. That's Scott Nicholson, lovely person. Anyway, so
escape room stuff, yeah.
That was good fun. I got to meet their friends and play a game of Freemel again with them. And I managed to score a new world record, which is 70 points out of the possible 80. So, yay. Wow. I was really chuffed. Yeah, getting above 70 is going to be tricky. I don't think anyone's ever going to get 80 because that also relies on a lot of luck at the end just to make sure everything lines up perfectly. There was one game we played when literally half the consonants came out in a string, and that game, let me tell you, no one scored more than 50 points. So, yeah, that's a nice thing when you're playing these kinds of games rather than doing it on your own and saying, oh, this is, okay, I managed to make this thing, and then you're always like, okay, I'm really wanting to go for the maximum score. It means that you're able to say, oh, well, I only scored 42, but the best that anyone got is 43, so actually that's not too bad.
That's good.
But yeah, it was really nice, and I would totally do it again. It's a nice way of people playing games with each other, even if they're across the world from each other. And yeah, talking about other nice things, I saw a squirrel today in the garden. It was on the tree, and it was climbing up the tree. It was actually making some sounds that sounded a little bit vicious. I was a little bit scared for a moment, I'm not going to lie. But then it was up on the tree. I was like, yeah, actually, this is quite cool. And I didn't know that squirrels were in our garden, so that's very nice. And that's my lovely thing of the moment. What about, does anyone else have a lovely thing? Alina, would you like to talk about a lovely thing?
Well, once you mentioned squirrel, I can think about anything else apart from squirrels. I'm a big fan of those because I drew them, and as I mentioned, I also have it in the book. So I need to create, all the word of them. And once I see, I actually made some friends nearby with squirrels. Yeah, so I know few in one park, few in another. And they are so active and so cute and everything. So I even drew this illustration about squirrel which is protecting the park. I don't know if you've seen one. So it's something that I feel now all the animals and creatures are so active in a way that humans are hiding into their caves, into their boxes, and now animal could just express themselves more bravely. So I adore observe animals now.
Yeah, it's
you do artwork of sorts as well.
Sorry?
Yeah, Alina's doing illustrations for a children's book.
Oh, cool. I wouldn't mind reading some of that or seeing the pictures.
And you can follow Alina, actually. What's your Instagram? Let everyone know.
Oh, yeah, it's Aquilina Este, so I can write down to show you.
Well, if you spell it out.
Yeah.
So it's ALINAK.ILN. How do you spell it?
It's AKILENA, and then this I don't know how in English we call this line on the bottom, but it's just line and then este. It doesn't make sense.
And there's a lot of lovely pictures that Alina's been putting up there, and so I would absolutely recommend everyone go and check that out. And hello, Polly. Hello, Tom. Do you want to mention a lovely thing that you have enjoyed recently?
I'm quite chuffed about having built a bookcase this weekend. Really useful. Yeah.
Very impressive.
We built it really quickly as well.
Yeah, I didn't think to make much of a dent in the piles of books on the floor, but it's good.
It looks tidier.
Hey! And Polly.
They were going.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Pretty much the same thing. The bookcase has made it's not made much of a difference to the floor, but it looks tidier. So.
And James?
I've got no bookcase here, unfortunately, or schools. On today, I've kind of just I did some tidying up on a server that I'm working on for some London friends, and had a frozen ready meal, which was basically leftovers of some fantastic food I made a couple of weeks ago. So it was really tasty, and went for a walk and chatted with a few friends, and now I'm here.
Well, that sounds like doing some love, like a mixture of nice bits of achievements, and you are managed to get little bits of socializing done as well.
Yeah, I'm talking to enough people, like virtually and stuff, which is all right. It's just you can do quite a lot from your sofa, I've realised. The sofa is a very versatile instrument. It's
well, if you have the technology in front of them, yes.
Yeah, you can do a lot from that, really. I don't know why we didn't do this before, really. Just have human beings plugged into their sofas like 24/7. That seems to be the way forward now.
I'm going to disagree with that. I understand some people are enjoying it, and there's definitely advantages. Like, I'm able to play test with someone in America, but at the same time, I know that as soon as this is over, I'm going to go back to play testing on the Friday meetups and, having people over in my house, because much as it's lovely having you, I should be talking about positivity, but it's nice having someone over.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Looking forward to that again. So.
But I'm kind of seeing Bez 3 times a week now, and I never used to do that. I think that's quite cool.
So, Alina and I just played a whole bunch of games of Mini Muckle. Now that there's 5 of us, or 4 of us, if you are not wanting to be creative, Alina, that's totally okay. Would you be up for a bit of Fable?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
So, Alina, you don't know how this game works. I will let Tom start, and we'll go around the screen. Tom, Polly, James, myself, and then you.
Okay, I can just see how you play for first time.
I think you like this game. It's quite a creative one.
So the first 3 people are going to just make a story element. I mean, maybe it might be easier if you start off, actually, James, you start off with a story element.
Beginning with I or B?
Beginning with I and then B. So you could have an adjective noun. You could say anything you want. Or it could be adverb, verb, or it could be
I've got one.
intensifier, adjective, for example.
The ingenious Bez.
The ingenious Bez. Okay, very flattered. Going to using the say anything box as a box lid to help me keep it up a little bit. Okay, now second card is R or M, and I will choose a random magazine. And I could put it to go before or after the ingenious Bez. I'm going to say the random magazine is at the start. Alina, do you want to make a story element? Do you feel comfortable doing that?
Okay, yeah, let's do this. This I can do.
E,
okay.
then M.
So it should be noun and an adjective, yeah?
E is an adjective and then M is a noun.
Enlargement machine.
Enlargement machine. So would you like the enlargement machine to happen before the random magazine, in the middle, or after the ingenious Bez? Where in the story would you like it to happen?
Okay, could be...
Start, middle, or end?
No, let it be in the beginning.
Okay. So this story begins with an enlargement machine. And now Tom is going to say the first sentence of our story.
Okay. Isabel, the mad scientist, had finally come to the conclusion of her work. That's it.
And now you use a word, I or you, that Polly has to use.
Unusual.
Unusual. So Polly, tell us the second sentence.
It was unusual discoveries that Isabel had made that resulted in her being featured in random magazines.
No, we have to do the enlargement machine first.
Her experiments had led her to develop something that would make things get bigger, and she called it inventively the enlargement machine.
Okay, so we've got the enlargement machine. And now, Polly, by the way, there's lots of noise there from someone. R or D?
It's Tom opening chocolate. Random. Oh, no,
we can hear you.
Random.
I see you.
Going to just meet you. Okay, random. James.
And R and M is random as well, isn't it? So did I say random twice?
No, that's random magazine.
Okay. Yeah. So she invented this enlargement machine. This was not a random invention or a random coincidence, because she had got inspiration from the owners of Playboy. It wasn't just any random magazine; it was a specialist magazine, and they wanted certain things enlarged and made bigger. And this enlargement machine would have been very useful in helping them achieve that aim.
Okay, and now you say words I have to use. Any word starting with either of these letters, and it could be something that's used to guide me towards a part of the story, or something to trip me up, or indeed you could just say the first thing that occurs to you.
Oliphants.
Oliphants. So that's a kind of elephant type thing?
Yes, that's like an elephant from Middle Earth.
Okay.
Yeah.
So really what they wanted was to get some oliphants enlarged. But walking by and hearing about this enlargement machine, the ingenious Bez said, well, could it maybe, rather than worrying about the oliphants, just enlarge your wealth and enlarge your stocks of gold? Could you do this? No. Alina, are you happy to see the next sentence of the story?
Well, socks of gold. I lost
So,
in that moment.
or maybe I should just turn it out. So then it was such that.
But okay, let's if you want, it's okay. Let I try.
So I almost feel like that's quite a good ending. So the Ingredients Bez had tried to take the enlargement machine, not inspired by random magazines, but inspired by a very particular magazine, to enlarge the wealth, but it simply could not be done. The end.
Okay.
But that is a very short explanation of Fable, but it kind of felt like a... Are you happy to go through another one to round us off for tonight? Okay, so now you know the rules. Alina, have a story element. EK. Could be anything.
I'm struggling with adjective for E. But key, I want keyboard. Let it be
Evil,
keyboard.
electric.
Evil keyboard.
Evil keyboard.
Evil
Okay.
keyboard.
Okay, Tom.
Oi. Is that a V or a Y?
The V.
V.
An old violin.
And where will it come?
After.
And finally, Polly.
A silver band
And where is this silver band coming?
at the end.
Okay. So you've got the silver band, but before that we have an old violin, and before that we have the evil keyboard. So James, start the story.
Okay. Once upon a time in a land far, far away, in a musical kingdom, there lived a busker who had a very who was very out of tune. Full stop. And I'm going to go with OH again. Okay. O for olives.
So the busker was playing this electric keyboard, which you would think would be perfectly in tune, but this electric keyboard was possessed by a demonic spirit. It was an evil keyboard which hungered for olives. And Alina, you have to use the word Frankfurters.
Frank, what?
Frankfurters, it's a type of sausage.
Okay. Okay. And
you don't have to involve the old violin. You just have to continue the story. We can keep talking about this evil keyboard that's been possessed by demonic spirits.
He also didn't stop just with keyboard. He wanted to create all the evil orchestra regarding to the special melodies that would make people believe what they want to convinced about. So what he
no, it's fine.
Sorry, it's too long. But anyway, so what he decided to do, he turned into the instrument all the all the things on the kitchen. So apparently, this Frank's what it was?
Frankfurters.
frankfurters appears the flute.
Mm.
Oh, nice.
And now a word for Tom.
Oh, yeah, E or M, yeah. Well,
Could just be any words, the first word that comes to your mind, and let Tom deal with it. That's exactly what I did.
Matt.
Matt, like Matt on
The
the floor.
dog you said
Oh,
before.
Mutt.
Mutt, yes, sorry, Mutt.
Not.
Okay.
Sorry, just appears in my mind.
Under the directions of the evil keyboard, was about to create the evil orchestra and the Frankfurter flute. But suddenly a mutt ran into the kitchen and stole the sausages before he could get the demons to possess it.
Okay, well done.
Robot.
Oh, there's a robot now.
Yeah.
So the busker decided that if he couldn't have a full orchestra, because there weren't enough things in the kitchen to get a full orchestra, he would build a robot, and then the robot could mimic a lot of the instruments that were missing, but couldn't quite get enough instruments for a full orchestra, even with the evil robot helping him. Instrument.
James.
Well, this robot was a good idea at the time, but unfortunately he just doesn't have the technical skills to make it work. And so he gave up with the idea of a robot and thought, how can I get the instruments that I need for my band? And he decided to say, well, I'll just look for some rubbish that I found lying around in the old rubbish bins around me and see what I can find. And lo and behold, within this old rubbish bin that he looked through, he found an old violin. And RD, I'm going to go for dinner time.
Dinner time. Well, what's the last one? What was that last one?
Silver band.
Silver band.
Oh, yeah, silver band.
Like a brass
So
band.
it was coming up to dinner time, and the, as well as the Frankfurters, which had been stolen by the mutt, and the pork chops, which had been turned into bass guitars and basses and violas. People were just wondering what's going on here. And then came the busker, proud, storming into the restaurant's kitchen, saying, "Behold, for I have created this band. It is with robots playing this old violin. It is with the robots playing the evil keyboard of the demonic spirits. Like, that sounds like no other keyboard in the world. And so I will call this keyboard." Wait, what? And announce this at dinner time. The silver band. And the word for you is running. Alina. So now we've used it, all three of these things, we just carry on until we come to a natural ending. And whoever wants can use all three of the objects and then say the end.
Wait, I didn't get, is it...
So you just have to carry on the story. So basically the person has come up and said, "This is my band full of robots playing these things. And it's called the Silver Band." That's the name of the band. It's the name of the tiny orchestra.
Okay, I lose the line of the plot for in my mind.
Well,
Yeah.
The demonic keyboard wanted sacrifices. the demonic keyboard wanted to assemble a demonic band, and to assist, they made some robots. And yeah, with the robots, they found an old violin, and they've got pork chops that somehow been turned into bass. So, you know, the big bass. Not bass guitar, like the big proper
double
big
bass, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one, the double bass. So there's this demonic band full of robots called the Silver Band. And the next sentence of the story has to involve the word running.
Running?
Running. Running.
Okay. And it was a huge culmination of the most powerful part of the piece. Yes, so they were already playing together, and robots on all those instruments with very strong energy. And once they saw somebody was doing this, as they had runny nose, and and they like everybody was like, what? And then he sneezed, and everybody and everything just fall down, and he's like, and all the plants
What happened?
Sneezed. He sneezed,
and then all the things
I'm
were
not in the
falling
sound
down, and
effect.
it's all running into chaos. And now Tom's got to go with a letter from Tom's favourite cards. Appropriately, because it's his Tom Cauldron.
Oh, yes, TC.
So,
I
Alina,
should
what's
say the
word?
But why should I be careful? It's a special
No,
card?
you don't have to be careful. You just have to pick one of the words. I was just commenting that Tom
I thought you
Cauldron.
meant careful for the C word, but yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
well,
you want to pick careful? Oh, is careful your word?
Top. I want to say just top.
Top. Okay, Tom.
So after the chaos and everybody running out of the restaurant, the yes, the band were left playing their evil music, and the busker was playing the evil keyboard, and which was somehow playing in musical terms, going ha 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 ha. Then they realised they didn't have any audience left, and they thought, how do we deal with this situation? It's no good playing evil music if there's no one to listen to it. So, but then they heard the sound of someone clapping from the side of the stage, and the music producer walked out and said, "Guys, I love your sound. I am going to take you to the top."
Nice.
Okay. National.
The music producer promised that he would get the busker on national television. And at first he was quite pleased by this, but then he thought, is it going to be really me that people are seeing out there? Because, all this stuff that the producer likes is produced by these evil instruments, and I've let myself get seduced by this evil keyboard. And so he thought about it, and he thought, no, and he destroyed the evil keyboard by shoving it in the oven. And immediately all the instruments turned back into pork chops. They were all over the floor, and the dogs started coming in and eating them. And all he had left was an old violin. And he started to play it.
Yeah.
I'm stopping.
You saying the end of the...
No, I'm stopping and leaving the end for James.
All right, okay.
Or me.
Good.
Oh my God.
Good.
Good.
So we got to the point where the band has been turned into pork chops. The evil keyboard's been
It's all
thrown
been
incinerated
reverted
into
to
ashes.
reverted to pork chops, as it was originally. You know, the pork chops were, you know, possessed by the evil spirits to become double basses, and the robots were playing it. But now the evil has been driven out, so it's all reverted into bits of meat. It's all perfectly logical.
Okay.
There's an internal
Right.
logic.
Okay. Well, the busker
just
side,
got
that's
violent.
not very good, is it, for my aspirations of having a silver band? I'll have to just go back to busking and seeing what I can do on the streets. I've got no evil keyboard, and all I have with me is an old violin. But hang on a minute, what's this over here? It's a mutt following me down the street because he thinks I've got some more sausages to give him. At least I've got some company now. So me, the mutt, and an old violin, said the busker, life could be worse. And off he went to his musical kingdom and carried on with his life.
The end.
Oh,
The end.
yeah.
That was a nice ending.
Good.
I like that. It was nice to see you. It's nice to have you along for the last wee bit. I hope you all had fun. And I'm going to close it off now. Before we do you have any hopes or for the next day or so, or anything that you're looking forward to? I am personally looking forward to the fact that I will be playing games with the family tomorrow, which is quite nice. That's something that I regularly do. And I am considering going on a bit of a cycle ride, which, you know, obviously, well, today we had a bit of a walk. We were keeping our distance, I want to hasten to add. And I was appalled by the fact that there were two cyclists going along the pavement, especially right now. I would have thought they would go along the road. I mean, for goodness sake. But I am looking forward to having a bit of a cycle ride, taking my friend's camera and taking some pictures of all the deserted streets. I think that would be quite fun.
Deserted streets are great.
Yeah.
I like deserted streets.
Yeah. It means that you can walk into the middle of the road.
Yeah.
Hope it would be sunny weather. Like these days, it wasn't as much. So I'm also excited about a good time to go in for a walk.
Yeah, because as we can stay away from other people, but we can also be going and looking at things.
Yeah, my favorite place around is a canal. So from time to time, I jog in there. And yeah, it's an amazing place. Once it's good weather, it's just adorable.
Lovely. And
I'm looking forward to making a paella tomorrow afterwards.
what kind of paella? Chicken?
Hello, cat.
Seafood?
Did you get it?
You've got a cat
That's our cat.
bubbling the camera. It's funny. Hello, cat. Oh no, no, I can't see
Yeah.
Holly.
Paella with some frozen seafood and some chicken and paella rice and
Mixed
peppers.
paella. That sounds very nice.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice. Yeah.
And
That's the end of Liam being sociable.
That's as sociable as he gets.
so being sociable as in hanging out with your partner.
No, that was
Oh, sorry.
The cat.
Being social. Sorry. I thought you were saying
It's about
that's going to be you being sociable, Tom. I totally misunderstood. I thought you were talking about Tom there, Paul.
People always think if anybody hears us mention him, They say, "Oh, Liam does this," and people get that odd look, and then you have to say, "No, he's a cat." So,
Oh, do you remember to feed Liam this morning?
yeah, no, I forgot. Did you? No, yeah.
No, not a cat.
Yeah. So, any things that you're looking forward to, James, over the next day or so?
You know what? I can't find eggs anywhere. I want to have a nice fry up. I want to do a nice bit of.
Apparently, you go up at 10:30. This is what I got inside information at Sainsbury's. I went there. I asked the person, at least for our local one, they say we get them around 10ish.
Yeah.
So I said, "Oh, when do you have eggs? Do you ever have eggs?" And they said, "Well, we do get eggs, but they just normally go by this time of night, because
Wow.
when I go into the shop, it's like 9 o'clock, and then at PM when there's barely anyone there." And they told me, "Oh yes, if you want to come, you should." I said, "Oh, do I need to come first thing in the morning?" And they said, No, don't come first thing in the morning. We normally get it around 10. So maybe it might be a bit busy, but if you go around 12, James, you might be able to get some eggs.
We've got a big box of eggs at the moment. We could pop a couple in the post for you. It's fine.
Oh, I really appreciate that. I'm not sure how they'd survive in the old jiffy bag, but that should be fine. Yeah.
It's all right until they put them through letterbox at the end.
Was that Tom's idea of a yoke?
If it would be too narrow, just squeeze it in between.
Speaking of puns, I should actually mention that I'm going to do another Kickstarter fairly soon, which is launching in the next few days. I've not decided exactly which day. I'm thinking it might be Thursday, but basically we're going to get all the stuff together. It's already up there. You'll be able to get some cat pictures along with puns. A couple of quid, you'll get a small pack of stickers. £3, you'll get 2 packs of stickers. And £5, you'll get print and play of Kitty Cataclysm. £7, you'll get a bit of unique artwork just for you. And £10, you'll get all that, plus another 3 packs of stickers, making 5 packs of stickers total. And each pack of stickers is literally going to be as much as I can afford to put into a pack, which I'm then going to be selling for £2.50 at full price at conventions. But right now, it's just like a nice little thing that maybe you like puns, maybe you like cats, maybe you like sticking artwork onto things. Maybe you want to put it on your bike or your passport or your mobile phone or your computer or whatever. I'm not here to judge. And if that sounds like, then maybe that's something you might want to check out.
Cool.
So, Tom, is there anything that you are looking forward to other than this paella, which you are going to be geographically close enough to
paella until just now, so now I'm looking forward to paella.
Is there anything else in your life?
Nothing else in my life other than paella.
Just paella.
No, actually, I'm going to going back to work again tomorrow, so it'll be.
Oh wow!
Although that has its downsides, it'd be nice to see people at work again tomorrow.
Oh,
yeah.
What is your you work in? Sorry, I'm very. Pardon?
Sheffield City Council.
Okay, so what exactly do you do, or do you not want to tell everyone at home?
Facilities management, keeping the buildings open for the key workers who need to.
So, because you're supporting the key workers, you are in effect yourself also a key worker.
Yes. Yeah. If I wasn't there, the social workers would have to go somewhere else.
Well, it's been lovely to see you all, and I'm going to end it now. So, if anyone's watching, thank you for watching, and I hope it was entertaining. And bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you very much for meeting. See you. Bye.